Hi there, working homeschool mom. This is Charlotte from Charlotte Jones 24/7 and My Little Homeschool. And this is episode number 120 of the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you've arrived on this podcast, that you're here. And I hope you're going to find so much to help you on your working homeschool mom journey. So today I'm covering a question that comes up a lot, as most of my podcast episodes are, I'm sure you've noticed. And that is how to homeschool and work full time. And this is, once again, a really good question because, yes, it can seem totally overwhelming to homeschool and to work full time, to add homeschooling into a day that's already crazy busy. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how to homeschool and to work full time. And spoiler alert, it is definitely possible, and I'm going to show you how. But before we get to the episode, I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, or forward the episode or the podcast to a new working homeschool mom who might need some support so that she can take her first steps with confidence. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. Hi there, and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm your host, and I am a podcaster, a speaker, a writer, and a homeschooling coach, specifically for working homeschool moms. I've been homeschooling my neurodivergent twin boys since 2017, and I've been a working homeschool mom since 2017. So I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom. I cover things like time management, homeschooling, mindset, and lots of other juicy topics like that. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. And I also welcome experts who can help you on your working homeschool mom journey. I have lots of ways to support you, so be sure to check them out in the show notes. You can download my time audit as your first step to managing your time better. I have a Facebook group for working homeschool moms that you can join as well. And be sure to sign up to my newsletter for weekly updates. And if you need additional support, you can join the WHM Collective, which is a supportive community of working homeschool moms where we delve deeper into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom. Or if you need one-to-one support, be sure to book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here, and I know you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Working homeschool mom, I know how overwhelming it can be to choose a math curriculum for your homeschool. That's why I'd like to tell you about the online math curriculum we've been using for years, ctcmath.com. As far as math curriculums go, it has loads of great features that solve lots of the math issues we've had, and I know a lot of homeschooling families have. Here are just a few of the many features that we really like. Questions are adaptive, which means the interactive questions change in difficulty depending on the student's ability. The program uses a smart algorithm that tracks the student's progress and delivers questions based on their exact needs. The student doesn't even know this is happening, helping them to build confidence and master math concepts. Concepts are delivered through video tutorials and summaries which are clear, complete, and easy to follow. It's like having your very own teacher. This ensures your children understand something before they're asked to practice it. And then for us parents, CTC Math has extensive reports which are so valuable in monitoring your child's progress and spotting any gaps. And they offer a 12-month money-back guarantee if this curriculum is not for you and your family. CTC will provide a full refund, no questions asked. But I think the most important thing is a whole lot less stress when it's math time for both parents and kids. You get to outsource math with confidence, and your kids get a fantastic tailor-made program that makes learning and mastering math enjoyable and positive. Visit CTC Math today to start your free trial. CTC Math is also offering you, listener, an amazing special. When you go to ctcmath.com/MLH, you can get a half price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. Are you a working mom dreaming of homeschooling? Do you want to offer your child a tailor-made education while also earning a salary? Today, I want to help you figure out how to homeschool and work full-time. It may seem impossible when you think about adding more tasks into your already hectic workday. But by the end of the episode, I promise that you'll feel that it's at least worth a go. But I hope that you'll see that it is actually 100% possible. So, how I started my working and homeschooling journey. Public school was an incredibly traumatic experience for my kids. They were bullied and othered. In the end, they were kind of kept on the other side of the classroom, away from all the kids. It was really heartbreaking. Dominic would have really intense tantrums every time we took him to school. So obviously, we knew we had to do something else. And at the same time, we were also made to feel like they would never achieve anything, that we were parenting badly. It was a whole big mess. So in 2017, we decided to take a leap of faith and start homeschooling. And yes, the first years were definitely tough, to say the least, because I had no idea what I was doing. I pushed way too hard. I felt so much pressure, and I also almost burnt out. But slowly we got into a routine and things started to get better. So the beginning was messy, but I definitely learned a lot. And that is why I'm so passionate about helping new homeschoolers figure it all out, because even though it is difficult, it is definitely possible. Then a few years ago, I realized that one of the reasons why homeschooling had been so tough, one of the many reasons, to be honest, was because my homeschool looked so different to what I was seeing on social media. And then I realized the reason was that I was working full time in homeschooling. And it really made me doubt myself so much because I couldn't give my kids the whole day. I couldn't create beautiful lessons. I couldn't go on loads of field trips. I had to earn a living too. So, I mean, I'm not saying this to put you off. I have to reiterate that I'm definitely 100% convinced that you can homeschool and work full time. It might just take a bit more unlearning, time management tools, and mindset work. So let's start with unlearning so that you can homeschool and work full time. To homeschool and work full time, it's really important to unlearn traditional education. And I know it can be scary. It'll definitely set you up for success. So, firstly, think about your preconceived ideas about education. What does education mean to you? And it's probably based on your own education or what we see in media. We get bombarded with all these kind of images and ideas about what education is. And these could be things like kids shouldn't ask questions when they're in class, they should just listen, or when they're learning. Bookwork is the only form of education that counts, or children need to read, write, and do math at a very particular grade level that is for their age. There are many preconceived notions that you might have about education, and it's really important to identify them because once you identify what you believe to be true, you can start unlearning. It's definitely the first step. You're not going to be able to do it until you know exactly what you think about education. And the reason why you need to do this is that these concepts might not suit your child and their learning style. You're going to have the most success and least amount of resistance when your child is in an environment that is tailor-made for them. And obviously, school or public school was not that environment. So also keep that in mind. And this is something that's quite strange that I have realized is that unlearning goes hand in hand with time management. Because when you're open to all the possibilities, you can start to craft a day that includes work and homeschool without burning out. You can accomplish everything you want to accomplish in a day, but you need to unlearn what your preconceived notions are, like I said. Time management can be a huge headache for lots of moms. And if you throw working and homeschooling into the mix, it might feel totally overwhelming. It might even feel impossible. But I have a few simple tips to manage time in a way that allows you to work full time and to homeschool. So I'm going to go back to unlearning. When you unlearn the way education should be and embrace what will work for you, you can fit it into even the busiest day. So this could mean homeschooling online, and this saves lots and lots of time in prep and marking. It could even mean outsourcing your homeschool entirely to a co-op or a tutor or another family member. Or it could also mean doing homeschool in the evenings or at the weekends when you have more time. Homeschooling year round is also a game changer. So, what this means is obviously you homeschool throughout the year, and it means that you do less every day and you also avoid the stress it takes to get kids back into the swing of things after some time off. So imagine 3 months of summer and then trying to get them back into learning. It's really, really hard. We used to struggle so much. So once again, you'll need to unlearn the idea of vacations and semesters. Homeschooling can happen anytime. There are no rules to say that you need to homeschool on the same schedule as public school. And here is something that came as a surprise to me at the beginning, and maybe it might to you too. And that is that kids don't need that much book work every day. In fact, high school is a max of 3 hours. And if you homeschool year round, you can reduce that even more. Doesn't this seem much more manageable than trying to fit 8 hours into your day where you're already working 8 hours? It definitely makes it much easier. And it also opens up those other possibilities of evenings or weekends or early morning. You can choose when to homeschool. And I'm going to leave the episode about the time needed for homeschooling in the show notes. Now let's get to the mindset. So mindset is such an important part of doing what's hard and or unusual. Working and homeschooling falls into this category, I believe. You might get pushback from your family, society, and yourself. So let's remember unlearning. Here are some of my favorite mindset strategies. Having a growth mindset is a must. It helps you with resilience, accepting mistakes as part of the process, and growing as a person in general. Being kind to yourself is also vital. Working and homeschooling is going to be tough if you constantly beat yourself up, not to mention how easy it is to burn out if you're not prioritizing self-care. Embracing imperfection will help you get through the messy beginning. It means you can rather spend your energy figuring out what works and how to improve rather than stressing about everything being perfect. And lastly, I think leaning into flexibility is also a superpower when it comes to homeschooling and working full time, because it'll help you to be open to testing and tweaking, checking in with yourself regularly. You're going to need to be flexible as your kids grow, as schedules change, and as life throws you curveballs, which is always the case. My final thoughts on how to homeschool and work full time. I know in my heart of hearts, I'm so convinced, I'm so positive that you can homeschool and work full time. If you have the motivation to do it, as with anything difficult, you will figure it out. It might take some time, some patience, and a lot of personal growth, definitely, but it's definitely possible and you can do it. As always, I'm here to help you figure out the messy beginning. Please reach out so that we can find a way forward for you that is manageable and sustainable and that is perfect for you and your family. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Please let me know what your greatest takeaway was. You can reach out to me on Instagram at charlottejones247 or on my website at mylittlehomeschool.com, or you could even drop me an email at hello@mylittlehomeschool.com. I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It will help spread the news about being a working homeschool mom, and in that way we can build this wonderful, supportive community together. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.